Do not fall into this pricing trap if you are a freight broker, especially today. In this video on Freightskills, we are going to go over the #1 pricing mistake I see a lot of brokers falling for in the modern day freight broker market. Right? This market has been really tricky for freight brokers and carriers over the last few months. Prices going up, prices going down, prices crashing. We don't know what's going to happen next, but I can tell you, if you do what we're about to talk about, you are not going to make it into the next freight broker bull run. All right, so if you're new to the channel, this is the internet's #1 source for modern day freight broker information. We talk about growth, sales, carrier networking, all of that great stuff. So if you're into that kind of thing and you want a little bit more help, just like this video, subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any of the updates we have on this channel. So let's get right into this freight broker mistake in pricing your freight. In this market, what we're seeing is a lot of rates crashing down. Carriers are struggling, which hopefully ends soon, but a lot of shippers are taking advantage of that with the lower rates. They're paying less for their freight and they're really loving it. But what's also happening is carriers are increasingly trying to cut brokers out to put a little bit more money in their pocket. Now, the misconception that a lot of carriers have when it comes to pricing is that if you cut out the broker in the middle between a shipper and yourself, that the broker who is going to make $200 or $300, that it's going to go in the carrier's pocket. But that is usually not the case. If a carrier goes direct to a shipper when there was a broker in the middle, the shipper doesn't want to pay any more money. So if there is a broker there and the carrier tries to go around them, the $1,000 that was in the whole shipment will be reduced because the shipper wants to save money at the end of the day. So if you're getting paid $700 from a broker and you go around them to the shipper is not going to say like, oh, I paid the broker $1,000, I'll give you $1,000. The shipper is going to say, oh, I paid the broker $1,000, but if he paid $700, I want to pay $700. So you might make an extra $100, you'll ruin a relationship, and I guarantee if you're a carrier who's doing this, the rates that you get are going to be even worse than you had in the long run. The amount of work that you have to manage those shippers is going to increase, which are going to increase your overhead costs, and it's going to be very slow, but it will impact your bottom line, and you're going to have trouble when the market picks up again. The mistake that I talked about in the beginning that brokers are making is they are instantly dropping their prices for shippers who are trying to negotiate with them. Shippers are trying to get the lowest prices possible right now. We see all of the cuts that are being made with big organizations. We see what's happening to freight rates, fuel, everything's just a complete mess. But as a broker, if you move quickly to reduce your prices just to win business, especially if you're operating at a low profit margin, like if you're trying to make $50, $25 a shipment, and you're happy with that right now, what's going to happen is the market's going to pick up again, and you are not going to be able to hold those rates that you gave your shippers. So everybody who's dropping their rates right now and committing and doing the work and making these really low profit margins, really low return loads, as soon as everything picks up, they're going to be out, and the brokers who stood attached to their value and didn't drop their rates are going to come back in. Because here's the difference. If you're an expensive broker, or if you put a premium on your service, which you should, which we teach that you should, and shipper A here says like, oh, broker B came in and they're $200 cheaper than you. But you look at those rates and you say, you know what? If they're $200 cheaper than me, that means that they're shorting their carrier. The carrier's not going to make any money. The broker's not going to be able to guarantee capacity because the market's fluctuating so much lately. And if I drop my rates to that, now the shipper is going to see that they can manipulate me very easily. All right, so all that psychology is happening. And if you do succumb and you do reduce your rates to that $200, guess what that shipper is going to say? Looks like they were taking advantage of me this entire time. They're charging me these high rates. If they came down on this load, there's no reason they can't come down on every other load that they do. So you could instantly take a huge account that you had and reduce it down to nothing because you chose to fold on one lane. So rather, what you need to do is when somebody keeps pressing you for lower and lower and lower rates and comparing you against other brokers, you need to suck it up in the short term. Understand that yes, the market's bad right now. I understand I'm not going to get as much freight, But I'm in this for the long run. This is not a short-term thing. There are other shippers out there I can go after. And you have to say, I'm sorry, Mr. or Mrs. Shipper. That's the price that I'm comfortable offering my capacity for you. I price my services based off the value that we provide, the security that we give you, and the peace of mind that you have that your shipment's gonna get covered when I say it's gonna get covered. If you're getting those rates, I encourage you to take advantage of that low pricing. But if anything were to happen to that option that was offered to you, I'll be here with the agreed rate that we had and happy to help you at any time. If you say those words, you will never have to drop your rates again. Like, I'm not gonna say never. Sometimes, you have to make cuts. We lowered a lot of our rates across the board too. But we're lowering our rates based off of what we're getting our trucks for. If the truck cost comes down 20%, more than likely the shipper's cost is gonna come down between 12 and 15%, okay? But the whole point of this video and that long ramble is, do not fall into the trap of lowering your rates in the short term, thinking that it's gonna get you more business in the long term. If you lower your rates now, all of your shippers that you do it for are going to be looking for that discount forever, for the rest of your working relationship and the rest of your natural life. That shipper will know that if they ask for a discount, they are going to get one. So don't succumb so easily and call shippers bluffs. Sometimes they tell you that they have a $200 lower price. Everybody does that. If you go to tour a house, the real estate agent will always tell you, oh, there's offers on the table for this one. You better move quick. If you go to a jewelry store, oh, I'm already losing money on this piece. I can't go any lower than that. You have to adopt that same mentality. The price that you charge is your business and your business alone. You deserve to be compensated for the work that you do, the peace of mind that you provide shippers, the due diligence that you do to make sure that safe carriers are being used. You have every right to put a premium on that service, and I'm encouraging you and urging you, don't fall so short on yourself and discount rates just because the market's a little sticky right now. Everything's gonna turn around eventually. There are plenty of other shippers out there who value relationships and won't ask you to drop their rates because they know that a relationship with you is going to be better than saving a few dollars on some short-term shipments. All right, so that's all we got for today. Make sure you stay strong, value your services, value the work that you provide for shippers, and don't drop your rates so easily. It could end up hurting you really badly in the long run. If this video helped you, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you on the next one.